Hello and good morning, ladies. I hope that your week is going so well. I have gotten several messages from you ladies directly in the app throughout the week, and I just want to say that I'm incredibly honored to be part of this journey with you. For some of you, this may be work that you've never done before, so I really hope that it is helping to bless your life, bless your mind, so you can have different results than you've had in the past. Because if we think about it, an apple tree can only ever produce apples, right? An orange tree can only ever produce oranges. And it's the same thing with humans. The fruit that we bear depends on who we are. And the only way that we can bear different fruit and get different results in our life is to become someone that bears that fruit. And that includes health. And so many of us believe that health is out of our power. Only the person in the white coat can help us to become healthy. But health is not something that's given to you, right? It's something that we can create. And hopefully by now you've been able to really soak in some of the scientific backing of that and know that this is legitimate. Like there's scientific hard evidence behind all of the things that we've talked about this week. And I can nerd out on this stuff all day long. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. I really love diving into this stuff because it's fascinating, but hopefully, there's so much information out there. If you're yearning for more, by all means, feel free, go get more. I can grab you some more resources, but it's absolutely fantastic that we can take control of our health regardless of what we've been told in the past. Okay. So today's lesson, we are focusing on embodiment. And this is when our life begins to, like, we begin to take action rather than just believing and feeling. So by now we've uncovered those old beliefs, we've rewritten the story, and we've felt the emotions. And that feeling part, again, is super important, especially to ingrain things into the subconscious mind. We've been doing the inner work, but now it's time to live it out loud. And this is a continuous work in progress. It's something that I am working on every day, and I am by no means perfect. This is something that may take you time. There may be stumbling blocks, and that's okay. Part of this journey is about giving yourself grace, okay? But the other part is showing up as the version of yourself that is already healing, okay? Your mind, your body, and your nervous system will begin to align with that reality, and that, my friends, is embodiment. All right. When what you believe internally is reflected in the way you speak and move and the choices that you make externally. So, like we've talked about before, our brain and body are in constant connection. And when our thoughts and beliefs are aligned and congruent with our actions, our nervous system feels safe. It feels in alignment. When these things don't match up, when they're misaligned, it's still confused. Our nervous system gets confused and it reverts back to old patterns, right? So there will be ups and downs. There will be times where we're not completely aligned, but the goal is to refocus and realign so our nervous system feels calm and safe rather than confused. Now, I will tell you there will be resistance. There will be times where you feel like, oh, I'm not sure how to move forward, or maybe this doesn't feel quite right. That's not always a bad thing. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're misaligned or something's wrong. It means that your brain is changing, but it's like, oh, I thought this one thing was safe. This is where we're supposed to be. But you're consciously making this decision to shift and say, no, this is the new path. So there is a difference between healthy resistance and complete misalignment. And you're the only one that can know for yourself. And sometimes when we haven't listened to our bodies, or we've been so deep and these limiting beliefs, it can take time to learn to really hear what's going on. But with practice, we can all get there. So if we are, working on believing that the body can heal, but daily habits don't reflect it. Oh, sorry guys. I thought that I was on Do Not Disturb. My laptop was, but my phone must not have been on. Life happens, right? Um, if our daily habits are still reflecting stress, overthinking, and self-doubt, then our subconscious is getting mixed messages, right? And we want our subconscious to know loud and clear what mission we're on, regardless of your health objective, if it's chronic pain, if it's overcoming fatigue, if it's dealing with a diagnosis, or if it's eating to nourish your body, if it's getting your movement in. Okay? This applies across the board. So this is about aligned action, even small actions, and it confirms to the subconscious, this is who I am now. This is our new reality. Because embodiment isn't just the beliefs and the emotions, it's both of those things plus the action, right? We can know all the things and think all the things, but if we don't do anything about it, then it doesn't add up to much at all, right? So this is the full embodiment of health and wellness and living. I don't want to say living our best self because it's so cliche, but it is completely true. This action is the physical expression that is reinforcing the belief and the emotion. And all three of these things go together. Having one without the other isn't going to get us very far. And when we have all of these things in alignment, we create coherence in the body and we're moving in the same direction. Our heart, our nervous system, our thoughts are all moving in the same direction. And this is where change begins to happen rapidly. So, with that being said, the goal is not to just try harder or do more. We're not grasping for healing. We're not longing and hoping for healing. We're acting as if someone who already is. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this in a future, one of the additional lessons that I'm adding on because it is it's one of those things that when I learned it, my brain just absolutely exploded and it made complete sense, but it takes some time and repetition. So this is your warm up for it. But it is acting in a way that the healthiest version of you would act. How would you speak to yourself? What things would you say, right? How would you move your body? And what boundaries would you set? Boundaries with other people, boundaries with yourself. All right. These little actions, how do you care for your energy? How do you care for yourself? Are you only focused on everyone else, or are you actually prioritizing your health because no one else is going to come do it for us, right? So, again, it's not about doing all of the things and it's not about trying harder. It's about showing up differently. So, every answer to these questions is an invitation to embody that new identity right now and each and every day. So, what we're going to do, you've got your um, today's workbook lesson to align or workbook activity to align with this lesson. And kind of note those out. Like, what habits are going to support your peace and your energy? How would you talk to yourself? What boundaries? What actionable steps would you take for your healing? And these are all in here. I have 4 sheets on a page. So, really thinking through that. And even if it's just one thing, if you want to focus on one of these questions that most aligns with you and either is the uh, I don't want to say easiest next step, but the thing that makes the most sense, maybe the path of least resistance, if you will. It's still moving forward, or maybe it's something that feels a little more daunting, but you're feeling really called to it. Okay. What kind of action aligns with your health? Maybe this is just focusing on how much water you drink. Something as basic and seemingly insignificant as water, but I'll tell you, water is involved in nearly every process in the body. Dehydration is an emergency in the body. So it may seem small and insignificant, but that is actually a massive step toward caring for yourself. So oftentimes we think that these things need to be large and grandiose, and that's not the point. The point is showing up with intention and doing things that are within reach. Now, it might be challenging, but it is still within reach. Give yourself those small wins to remind yourself that you are capable because you are. We try to do like all of the things and what we see other people doing, and that's not always what's best for us, right? So, focusing on these things. Maybe it's taking a slow, mindful walk, a 5-minute walk outside instead of scrolling on your phone. Maybe it's starting the morning with a gratitude practice rather than picking up the phone. Maybe it's saying no to something that's going to be draining to you when you know you need to rest. If somebody asks for help, we all want to help. We never want to let people down, but sometimes we need that space for ourselves so our nervous system can calm and relax. Maybe it's going to bed a half hour earlier just to allow yourself to get some more rest. I know some of you are really hoping to get some better sleep. And that may not be the answer to the better sleep equation, but I think by now you are picking up what I'm putting down. And when you take these aligned actions, it strengthens those neural pathways. It reinforces them, saying, this is who I am now. I am not someone that is going to be healthy in the future. I am someone that is healthy now, that is serving my body now. And when these old thoughts or patterns or habits show up, it's about giving ourselves grace and not being judgmental. All right. We all have slip ups. We all have things that in retrospect, we wish we could do better. Hindsight is always 2020. But how do we handle that? This is, moving forward gently and just reminding ourselves that it's okay to move forward without beating ourselves up. All right. Our brain learns through repetition and grace. Nobody's going to learn and want to do something if someone's beating them down all the time, right? So don't beat yourself up over imperfection. We are all human and wildly imperfect. This is about practice, okay? So in the app, that's it for today. In the app, let me know what is one way you can take aligned and inspired action to support your new path, your new identity. And if you'd like to share, let me know how it feels. So let me know before moving on to the next lesson. And remember, you are embodying your healing every day. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned with the version of you that is thriving. So, with that being said, healing isn't something you chase, it is something that you become. You are living it right now. I'm honored to be on this journey with you, and I will see you on the next lesson.